2020. Woohoo! The next presidential election is coming up really soon. I'm ready for it. I'm trying to tell you.
2020.
I just turned 18 and I'm planning to vote.
November?
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, November, right?
2020. Okay, go ahead.
November
20. Okay.
2020.
I can't believe that this is the 100th anniversary. I feel like it should be longer.
I feel it's a civic duty if you live in a democracy. The whole point is to give the citizens a say. You know, I don't always feel great about the process.
To like make your voice heard and to have an opinion and be educated.
It's really important because people need to have a say in what the government does.
It would be gun control, definitely. There's too much going on nowadays, you know. We got to get it. Somebody got to get out here and be the voice for our youth and try to let them know that their lives matter today, you know. Our youth don't stand a chance right now with these guns out here. If it was up to me, they'd all be banned, except for in the military.
I do believe in the Second Amendment, but I think there should be required psychiatric evaluations, first of all. Second of all, if you're going to pop up on any flag, if you've showed any consistent signs of being a part of a hate group, I don't think you should be allowed to own a firearm the same way that felons shouldn't own firearms.
So to me, gun control and healthcare are pretty much the same. It's not necessarily the gun that's the problem, but the person behind the gun. And that's where we run into trouble with people not getting what they need from healthcare, access, cost.
For all of the gun violence that we've had in the last years, let alone the last few months, you know, I think that that's very important. And before, it wasn't so important, but all this violence, and it's usually involving guns in our kids' schools and everything, that's the most important.
I cannot believe what we're doing, more guns per people in the United States. I am not even sure where to start, not even sure at this point. Blaming it on people with mental illness is not going to solve the problem at all. I'm not sure where to go, but it's heartbreaking to know that.
You think about the school shootings, and the school shootings, they come from the neighborhood. So you get these guns popping up around these neighborhoods and things like that. They taking them to the schools, they taking them to the parks. You know, they taking them wherever. You can't, you know, get out here and have a good time no more without being worried about if you're going to be an innocent person to get shot that day. It's the community that's not doing their job, because the community needs to speak up about who's doing all the shootings. So the community is, the media is there. They're filming it, they're putting it out there, they're putting the areas out there to watch out for and everything, but it's just the people in the community. I don't know if they're afraid to speak up or they don't want to give their family member, or one of the two, but the community got to do more work within itself.
Now, my husband is a retired sergeant for the Detroit Police Department, and we have guns. Automatic weapons, he is so opposed to it. But you have to figure out how, it has to start with the selling of these guns. And I don't know where else. I don't even see a candidate that's interested in that. They're interested in all or nothing because it's so regulated, it's so much power with those guns.
I think that's most important for the whole world, because obviously the earth might not be around anymore due to pollution and everything.
Climate change is critical. I mean, we're just like, I don't even know if it can be reversed.
I think climate change would probably be my number one. I studied environmental engineering, so I know all about climate change and the detrimental effects that we have on the planet, and the certain laws and stuff that we have to put into place to help prevent like bad things from happening.
Climate control, yeah, it's pretty important to have an earth to live on that isn't drowning people when the polar cap is melting. And
Climate change is important, but I feel like as just a single, I don't feel like there's a whole lot can do about it. I mean, aside from voting, I see, capitalists, industrialists, and these countries that are developing. Something has to be done about them. I mean, I agree with what we're doing here, but you can't tell another country, hey, stop polluting so much. What are you going to do? Go to war with them?
Healthcare, it should be given to everybody. Other countries are able to let their citizens have free healthcare, and if nothing else, the elderly, people that are, let's see, I'm going to be 60, so people that are 60, 60 and older should definitely have free healthcare.
I think it takes some humility to go to another country that has a national healthcare program and say, hey, what are you guys doing? Tell me the ins and outs of your programs, and just honestly ask for guidance, because we don't know it all.
I believe everyone deserves health care. It's a human right.
Health views, we got a lot of health issues. It's been hard for a lot of people to get, it don't bother me, I love the knees. It's been hard for a lot of people to get certain health care and things like that.
I've been a patient for 30-some, 40-some years, and so it's just devastated me. They have profited off of me to the point where we almost went bankrupt. I mean, we almost had to go bankrupt.
I still feel like we need to correct the healthcare program that was put in place. I think the right idea was there. My brother is type 1 diabetic. He has been since I was 4. He had a lapse in health insurance for a while, so technically under old rules, he was not allowed to get health insurance.
We spend 18% of our GDP on healthcare, more than any other industrialized nation. And at some point, this will be like the housing bubble. It's going to burst and leave us all in a mess unless we figure out how to fix it beforehand.
I feel that we need universal health care. That would solve many problems.
Because I am somebody who has severe migraines, 25 years, I am limited to what medications I can take from my insurance is dictating what I can have and cannot have, and that's causing a huge problem.
I don't see how we can transition from the huge system we have now to, suddenly going to Medicare for all.
I have Medicare, so I have everything covered, and I am lucky not to have any illnesses as my sister and my husband have. I'm very fortunate, but when you do, when you need something, I want it to be there for everybody. Maybe one day I will, maybe tomorrow I will, but today I don't.
It's terrible, the greed. It's just crazy making profits on sick people. That's insane. So.
Some of the abortion laws that have been enacted in state-specific places are ridiculous. I think there definitely should be a right to choose. I don't necessarily agree with abortion as a consistent means of birth control.
Abortion's a no-brainer. If you don't want one, don't have one.
I do believe in abortion. I want that option for anyone. I want everyone who can have it to have it. I want that option for people. I don't think it should be taken away, and I think they should have it for any reason they wish, because nobody knows anyone else's reason.
Abortions, that doesn't come to me as a matter, because a woman should be able to make her own decision.
There's Plan B, there's the pill, there's free contraceptives. Just be smarter about what you're doing, I guess. But I definitely think that there's a need for legalized birth control. Otherwise, you're going to go back to the 50s where women were cleaning themselves out with coat hangers and deaths were happening not to one but two at that point.
For me, it's immigration. It really hits close to home. I have family members who have to deal with our immigration policies in this country, and it's not really easy for them. I have friends and family who are, scared to be out, just walking around because they're scared that, if they see, a police officer, that they could get arrested, or the raids that are happening by ICE.
There's a lot of ridiculous rules and policies around immigration, and there's a lot of things that people don't really recognize as far as like how hard it is for a person to become a legal citizen. I think a lot of people think it's super easy to become a citizen, that it's like just fill out paperwork, but it's a lot of money that goes into it. There's a lot of time and energy. It took my friend's mom 12 years to become a citizen, and she did all the right way to do it, and it still took her forever to do it. And it still cost them over hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it, because you gotta pay for lawyers, and you have to pay for the paperwork to be done. You have to pay to go to court. You have to pay for all these things. You need someone who has enough money to sponsor you to be able to come here. So it's not as easy as people make it seem.
I think people misunderstand the things that immigrants want to do here, but a lot of them have good intentions, and although unfortunately there are some that don't, they usually mistake that percentage and just assume everybody is a bad person that is an immigrant.
People leave their countries for a million and one reasons, and we should respect that as much as we can and try to like be a more like tolerant people as a nation, which I feel like right now like we're not, and it's a lot due to like our current administration that we're under.